Have you noticed it's getting harder to get out of a chair without pushing with your hands? Or maybe you've started skipping the stairs because your knees ache, or avoiding reaching overhead because your shoulder just doesn't feel right anymore. These little adjustments might seem harmless, but over time they add up. And before you know it, you're not just avoiding discomfort, you're giving up your freedom, one movement at a time. It's easy to assume these changes are just a natural part of aging. But the truth is, they're often the result of doing the wrong kind of exercise, or none at all. In fact, some of the most common movements promoted in traditional fitness routines can actually do more harm than good. That's why in this video, we're not just pointing out 3 common exercises that can do more harm than good after 60. We're also giving you 3 safer, smarter alternatives that build real strength without risking your joints. Because at this stage of life, it's not about doing more. It's about doing what works. And here's the good news. The right movements can restore your confidence, protect your joints, and rebuild the kind of strength that truly matters. The strength to live independently, get around safely, and do what you love for years to come. Before we begin, let's take a quick pause. Has GE reaching for something high or walking longer distances started to feel a bit more taxing lately? If so, you're in good company. Drop a yes in the comments so others know they're not alone on this journey. And if you're ready to feel stronger, more stable, and more confident in your body, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. This channel is here to support your strength every step of the way. Let's begin. Exercise 1. Deep squats. Why they hurt more than they help. Deep squats are commonly promoted in mainstream fitness programs as one of the most effective ways to strengthen the lower body. They target several critical muscle groups at once, including the quadriceps, hamstrings, gluteals, and even parts of the lower back and core. In theory, this compound movement helps improve muscle mass, stability, and functional strength. However, for adults over the age of 60, the risks associated with deep squats often outweigh the rewards, especially when performed without proper supervision, mobility, or awareness of the body's changing biomechanics. The execution of a deep squat requires a high degree of joint flexibility, particularly in the hips, knees, and ankles. It also demands a well-functioning sense of balance and sufficient strength in the muscles that stabilize the spine. As we age, these systems naturally degrade. Cartilage thins, bones become more brittle, and ligaments lose elasticity. Even for active seniors, mobility restrictions are common and can lead to compensations that cause additional problems. Deep squats often place the body into positions that are simply not sustainable or safe for older adults with reduced joint integrity or past injuries. One of the most concerning aspects of deep squats is the pressure placed on the patellofemoral joint, which connects the kneecap to the thigh bone. As the angle of the knee increases beyond 90 degrees, the compressive forces on this joint rise exponentially. For someone with osteoarthritis, prior ligament tears, or chronic inflammation in the knee, this added stress can accelerate degeneration of the cartilage, increase pain, and even contribute to long-term damage. This is especially dangerous for seniors who already experience joint discomfort or stiffness as part of their daily routine. In addition to stressing the knees, deep squats introduce risk to the lower back, particularly the lumbar spine. As the hips descend below parallel, many people begin to round their back or lean forward excessively to maintain balance. This creates a shearing force across the vertebral discs, increasing the potential for disc compression or aggravation of spinal stenosis. In older adults, many of whom already suffer from reduced bone density, degenerative disc disease, or weakened core muscles. This added strain can lead to acute injury or chronic pain syndromes that impair mobility and independence. Another often overlooked danger of deep squats is their impact on balance. As the body drops into a low position, the center of gravity shifts backward. This requires significant ankle dorsiflexion and proprioceptive awareness, abilities that decline with age. Without these, the risk of losing balance and falling backward becomes much greater. Even with good intentions, seniors may find themselves unable to return to standing without assistance, putting themselves in a position where injury is more likely than strength gain. From a functional standpoint, it's also important to question whether seniors even need to perform full-depth squats in the first place. In everyday life, most people do not descend into a squat lower than standard chair height. Tasks such as sitting, rising, and using the toilet typically occur at or just below hip level, not deep into a crouched position. Therefore, the utility of deep squats for older adults is limited and potentially dangerous when safer, more relevant alternatives exist. One such alternative is the chair squat, which preserves all the functional benefits of lower body training while removing the risks associated with deep joint flexion and spinal loading. Chair squats mimic the natural movement pattern of sitting and standing, a daily task that directly translates into real-world independence. They activate the same muscle groups as deep squats, but do so in a controlled and joint-friendly range of motion that minimizes the likelihood of injury. To perform a chair squat correctly, start by standing in front of a sturdy chair with your feet approximately shoulder width apart. Your toes should be angled slightly outward for comfort. Engage your core muscles and begin to lower your hips toward the seat in a slow and controlled manner. Keep your chest lifted and spine neutral throughout the descent. Stop just before your bottom touches the seat. Pause for a second, then press through your heels to return to the standing position. Breathe out as you rise and repeat the process for 8 to 10 repetitions, completing 2 sets with rest in between. Modifications can be made for added safety and comfort. For example, beginners may start with a higher chair or place a firm pillow on the seat to reduce the depth. If balance is an issue, holding onto a countertop or walker for support is perfectly acceptable. Over time, as strength improves, the depth can be gradually increased or repetitions extended. Beyond the physical benefits, chair squats also offer significant psychological advantages. Successfully completing this movement can build a senior's confidence in their ability to stand, walk, and perform daily activities without assistance. That confidence, in turn, leads to greater consistency with physical activity, improved self-efficacy, and reduced fear of falling. Exercise 2. Overhead, lifting the hidden shoulder risk. Overhead lifting is a staple in many conventional strength training routines. Movements like the overhead press, military press, or barbell shoulder press are often used to build upper body strength. These exercises primarily target the deltoid muscles, which cap the shoulders, as well as the trapezius and various supporting upper back muscles. In younger individuals with healthy joints and good mobility, these exercises can be highly effective. However, for older adults, particularly those over the age of 60, overhead lifting poses a set of unique and significant risks that must be considered. The shoulder is one of the most mobile joints in the body, capable of a wide range of motion. But with that mobility comes vulnerability. As we age, the structures supporting the shoulder joint, including the rotator cuff muscles and tendons, begin to degenerate. These tendons become more prone to inflammation, fraying, and tearing, especially when subjected to repetitive strain or awkward angles. Many seniors already live with conditions like tendinitis, bursitis, or partial rotator cuff tears, even if they haven't been formally diagnosed. Unfortunately, overhead lifting can exacerbate these issues quickly. One of the primary concerns is compression of the shoulder's subacromial space, the narrow corridor where rotator cuff tendons pass beneath the acromion, a bony structure at the top of the shoulder blade. When weights are pressed overhead, particularly with poor form or limited mobility, this space narrows further. The tendons can become pinched, a condition known as shoulder impingement. This can lead to sharp pain during motion, inflammation, and ultimately tearing if the activity continues unchecked. What may start as mild discomfort during a workout often progresses to pain that lingers for days or weeks, sometimes requiring medical treatment or physical therapy to resolve. Complicating matters further is the involvement of the cervical spine. When older adults lift weights overhead, particularly if they are using too much weight or lack thoracic mobility, the upper and mid-back area, they often compensate by extending their neck or arching their back. This movement places pressure on the discs and nerves in the cervical spine. The result can be stiffness, tingling sensations in the arms, or even radiating nerve pain. Additionally, poor overhead posture often triggers compensatory movements that shift stress to the lumbar spine, risking hyperextension of the lower back. The problem with overhead lifting is not just physical strain, it's the delayed onset of symptoms. Many seniors perform the movement, feel fine at first, and then experience stiffness or pain several hours later. This delayed response makes it difficult to connect the dots between the activity and the resulting discomfort. Over time, these repetitive stress injuries can lead to chronic shoulder pain, limited range of motion, or even frozen shoulder, a condition that drastically limits arm mobility and takes months to resolve. Fortunately, there is a much safer alternative that still delivers excellent upper body strength benefits without compromising joint health: resistance band curls. Resistance band curls allow you to target many of the same muscles involved in overhead pressing, especially the biceps, deltoids, and trapezius, while keeping your arms in a more natural and shoulder-safe range of motion. Because the resistance comes from elastic tension rather than heavy external weight, the exercise is much easier on the joints. There's no need to press or strain. Instead, you're pulling in a direction that your body is better equipped to handle, while keeping the shoulder joint stable and protected. To perform resistance band curls, begin by standing tall with a resistance band secured under your feet. Grip the ends of the band with your palms facing forward and your elbows tucked close to your torso. Keep your spine neutral and avoid leaning back. Slowly curl your hands up toward your shoulders, engaging your biceps and upper back muscles throughout the motion. Pause briefly at the top, then lower the band slowly back to the starting position. Focus on control throughout each phase of the movement. This exercise can be done seated or standing, depending on your comfort and balance. If standing feels unsteady, sit on a firm chair with the band looped under your feet. Perform 2 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions and rest for about 30 seconds between sets. As your strength improves, you can gradually increase repetitions or use a band with greater resistance. Always prioritize form and joint comfort over intensity. Resistance bands offer additional benefits beyond safety. They are lightweight, portable, and affordable, ideal for use at home, while traveling, or even during outdoor walks. They also promote proper posture. The controlled pulling motion encourages shoulder blade retraction and alignment of the thoracic spine, helping to reduce the slouched posture that often develops with age. By replacing overhead lifting with resistance band curls, you effectively reduce the risk of rotator cuff injuries, cervical spine compression, and lower back strain. At the same time, you continue to build the strength necessary for everyday tasks like lifting groceries, opening doors, or carrying laundry baskets. The key is to train in a way that supports longevity, not just performance. Exercise 3. High-impact running, too much stress for aging joints. Running has long been seen as the gold standard of cardiovascular fitness. For decades, it has symbolized endurance, discipline, and physical health. Many people, especially those who were active in their younger years, continue to view running as a necessary part of maintaining vitality. However, for adults over the age of 60, high-impact running is no longer the safe and effective option it once was. As the body changes with age, so do its mechanical tolerances, and continuing to run in later life can create more harm than benefit if not carefully managed or modified. Each time you run, your body absorbs ground reaction forces that can be as much as 2 to 3 times your body weight. These forces travel through your feet and ankles, up to your knees and hips, and into your spine. While a younger body may be able to withstand this repetitive loading without consequence, the aging musculoskeletal system is less resilient. The cartilage that cushions your joints begins to thin with age, and the elasticity in tendons and ligaments decreases. This means less shock absorption and greater wear and tear on critical structures. For seniors, this mechanical stress often leads to pain, inflammation, and injury. Common running-related injuries in older adults include shin splints, patellar tendinitis, Achilles tendon strain, plantar fasciitis, and even stress fractures in the feet or lower legs. These injuries can be slow to heal in older individuals due to reduced circulation and slower tissue regeneration, making recovery a longer and more frustrating process. Beyond tissue strain, another major concern with running in older age is the elevated risk of falling. As we age, our reaction time slows, balance and coordination diminish, and proprioception, the body's ability to sense its position in space, becomes less accurate. When you combine those factors with the forward momentum of running and the variability of outdoor surfaces, the risk of a misstep or fall becomes significant. A fall while running can result in severe consequences, such as hip fractures, wrist injuries, or even head trauma. These types of injuries not only take months to heal, but can also result in permanent loss of mobility and independence. Visual acuity, often compromised with age, adds another layer of risk. Diminished depth perception and slower visual processing can make it harder to spot cracks in the pavement, uneven ground, or unexpected obstacles. Running in low-light conditions, such as early morning or evening hours, only magnifies this danger. Even highly conditioned older runners are not immune to these biomechanical and sensory limitations. Despite these risks, many older adults feel pressure to continue running because they associate it with staying young or maintaining cardiovascular health. They may feel that walking is not enough, or that switching to a lower impact form of exercise signals a loss of ability. However, the reality is that walking is one of the most effective, accessible, and sustainable forms of exercise for aging bodies. It offers nearly all the cardiovascular benefits of running while dramatically reducing the risk of joint damage and falls. Walking engages many of the same physiological systems as running. It improves heart health, supports healthy blood pressure, regulates blood sugar, boosts mood, and increases stamina. What's more, it strengthens the muscles and bones in the lower body while improving posture and coordination. Unlike running, it does not create repeated impact stress on the joints and is much more forgiving on the spine and hips. To get started with walking, begin at a manageable pace, around 10 to 15 minutes per day, and increase your duration gradually. The goal is to build up to 30 minutes of brisk walking most days of the week. Choose even, stable surfaces such as paved paths, park trails, or indoor walking tracks. Wear supportive, well-cushioned shoes designed for walking or cross-training to absorb impact and reduce pressure on your feet and knees. If balance is a concern, using walking poles or a cane can add stability and confidence. Walking with a friend or in a group can make the routine more enjoyable and add a social connection, which has its own health benefits. For those looking to increase the intensity, interval walking is an excellent strategy, alternating between periods of faster and slower walking to challenge your cardiovascular system while maintaining safety. In addition to its physical advantages, walking also has powerful mental health benefits. Regular walking has been shown to reduce anxiety, enhance mood, and improve cognitive function. It can serve as a meditative practice, allowing you to clear your mind, regulate breathing, and reduce daily stress. It also promotes better sleep, enhances immune function, and may reduce the risk of age-related conditions like type 2 diabetes, osteoporosis, and cognitive decline. Unlike high-impact activities that often require extended recovery periods, walking encourages consistency. And in the realm of senior fitness, Consistency is far more important than intensity. Maintaining a daily walking habit fosters resilience in your joints, improves blood flow, and helps maintain a healthy body weight, all without the long-term wear and tear associated with running. As we've explored today, the key to staying strong after 60 isn't intensity, it's intention. The exercises you avoid are just as important as the ones you embrace. Deep squats, overhead lifting, and high-impact running may seem beneficial on the surface, but they come with risks that aging bodies don't need to take. Instead, focusing on chair squats, resistance band curls, and daily walking offers a smarter, safer, and more effective way to build lifelong strength and confidence. These exercises protect your joints, support your mobility, and reduce your chances of injury, all while fitting easily into your daily routine. Small changes, done consistently, create big results. Swap just one of these movements this week and observe how your body feels. Does it recover faster? Do you feel more stable? Less sore? Remember, you're not just exercising to get stronger. You're exercising to keep living freely, joyfully, and independently for as long as you choose. Let's keep moving forward together.